Yes, aloha, and mahalo for this opportunity. My name is Charles Young. I reside in Kealia, South Kona, and I want to thank you for providing this opportunity to comment on Bills 112 and 115. I'm opposed to the rezoning of the Waikoloa lands for the purpose of building timeshares. I believe that the county should be using its authorities, such as zoning, in an effort to develop more affordable housing for its residents as a first priority, and not to develop offshore housing markets until the residents' needs are met. I oppose the rezoning for the purpose of building timeshares until the applicant can identify the negative impacts that tourism has had on our environment, on our cultural values and resources, and the quality of life. Before they can identify what additional impacts will result from the development and what mitigation plans are in place to address them. I oppose the rezoning of the Waikoloa lands for the purpose of building timeshares until the applicant fulfills its promise to build workforce and affordable housing. I also request that the county and applicant identify how much water will be required to support the proposed project, where or from which aquifer will the water come from, how will that water be replenished, how will the water be used, treated, and returned to the land, how will the natural water flow into the ocean be affected, and what impact will that have on the nearshore resources? And has the applicant or the county consulted with Native Hawaiian practitioners or the County Cultural Resource Commission? I encourage the county to review the Hawaii Tourism Authority's draft management action plan for Hawaii Island, which was developed to identify actions to better manage the impacts of tourism going forward. I acknowledge that there are many positives from this project. I also acknowledge that we have a responsibility to leave behind for our future generations healthy and sustainable resources, clean, abundant water, and a future that is not financially dependent on offshore markets. Mahalo for your time and your consideration.
Aloha, Chair Kirkowitz and the Hawaii County Council Committee on Planning. My name is Wendy Laros, and I'm the President and CEO of the Kona Kohala Chamber of Commerce. With over 400 members, our mission is to provide leadership and advocacy for a successful business environment here in West Hawaii. This year, we've identified housing as a top priority. We support housing projects at all inventory levels in West Hawaii. This includes the development of infrastructure to support more housing, along with an emphasis on improvements in Hawaii County's permitting processes. In fact, we have a task force dedicated to this priority, as you've heard from its chair, Dennis Boyd, in his testimony. The Kona Kohala Chamber of Commerce supports Bill 112 and Bill 115 that changes the zoning at Puako and Anai Ho'omalu that would allow Waikoloa Land Company to develop the Kumu Hou project. This is the first resort community on the Kohala Coast to prioritize development of affordable workforce rental housing within the resort footprint. The project calls for construction of 140 affordable workforce units. Not only will this development provide needed housing, it will also create jobs with estimates of up to 520 jobs during development and construction and nearly 500 permanent jobs when built out. The Kumu Hou project aligns with our housing priority as well as our vision to enhance the quality of life for our community through a strong, sustainable economy here on Hawaii Island. We ask that the Hawaii County Council Committee on Planning pass Bill 112 and Bill 115. Mahalo for this opportunity to testify.
Madam Chair, your next testifier is Chuck Flaherty, to be followed by Christy Van Pernis. Chuck, if you could unmute your mic, you'll have 3 minutes starting now.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Planning Committee. First of all, the Sierra Club would like to thank the council and the developer for the changes that have been made. However, I think that we should be clear that there's still some basic issues that have yet to be resolved. With regard to affordable housing, this is not an affordable housing project. It provides affordable housing and proposes to, But the question is the number of affordable homes that are being proposed even cover the amount of jobs that are being created by this particular project? In addition, Waikoloa Beach Resort has says that they've created 5,000 jobs over the years, and yet to meet their affordable housing requirement in the past, they provided 300 acres with no homes, and that was supposed to supply affordable housing for 5,000 jobs. I think that we need to revisit that and look at what is the value, how much did they pay, how many units were they required to have, how much in lieu fee did they pay, what was the value of that 300 acres, and revisit that as well. I really think that this project, as the previous testifier stated, should be an affordable housing project and not a timeshare project. The other issue is with regard to water quality. Contrary to the representations made in Communication 605.1, Ha'omalo Bay is impaired, and I provided that information to you. They were measuring a different area previously and had more parameters for which it was impaired, but it's still impaired for turbidity and chlorophyll, which indicates there's excess nutrients. In addition to that, the injection well is going to, the U.S. Supreme Court has required that injection wells that will discharge into U.S. navigable waters requires an NPDES permit. The Department of Health does not yet have the regulatory regime for that. So the question is, how can this development be approved when it is not in compliance with EPA regulations? And how will this be taken care of moving forward? Thank you very much for your time. Just one last note, I wanted to appreciate the developer being willing to convey the King's Trail to the Department of Land and Natural Resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair Kirkowitz, for allowing me to speak and testify. My name is Dean Au, and I am with the Hawaii Regional Council of Carpenters. We represent 7,000 working families in the state of Hawaii, and we advocate for fair wages and benefits for our construction workers. I'm speaking here in front of you today, representing 600 plus working families on the Big Island. And we support Bill 112 and Bill 115 related to the change of zone for Kumu Hou at Waikoloa. I've talked to hundreds and hundreds, maybe even 1,000 people, Hawaii Island residents, regarding this project. And I have submitted 100 plus signed letters from our members who want to see this project moving forward. Our members and their families are registered voters from all corners of this Big Island. We live in HILO and Puna. We live in Curtistown to Naoleo to Ocean View. We live in Kona to Kohala to Waimea. And we live in Waipio to Monokala. We live in all crevices of this island, and we support Kumu Hou. Waikoloa Land Company is committed to the community and is willing to work with all stakeholders to find the best way to move forward with this project. Waikoloa Land Company has created thousands and thousands of job opportunities for 40 plus years for construction to maintenance to retail and on and on. Bill 112 and Bill 115 will continue that job opportunity for many, many, many years to come. Many of us and you council members have enjoyed this resort area. I personally have worked on construction jobs on many of the timeshares and hotels. Waikoloa Land Company is also giving us the opportunity to reside there with 140 affordable units. Hopefully, we can work, live, and play there. Thank you, council members. Thank you, committee members, for this opportunity to testify.